Thanks so much for so many of you for joining in today's session. Really excited that got so many of you here today. Today's session, we're going to go for about 30 to maybe 45 minutes, all about actions through which you can manage your AE's pipeline. And this is the first in our AHA webinar series. Excellent. Thanks for that, Leo. Leo's put some slides together for us just so we can see what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to be talking about how you can turn your CRM system, which is part of your FP system, into cash. We're going to be reviewing managing your sales funnel by qualification levels, tracking estimates through their approval statuses, using prospecting tasks, creating an inside sales job, using the estimate close probability, making some really great quick reports out of FP, and pulling sales reports by month, basing them on the close dates, close probabilities, and account executive. Excellent. These are some examples of the reports Leo is going to be showing us through these estimate find reports and finding estimates by clients, which can be great ways to see what's going on in your system. And some other very cool and fairly new reports that live back in the reports module that are all about pulling these much more fancy Excel-based reports all about new business by close month and percentage close probability and by account executive and qualification level.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks for reviewing some of the items that we're going to be covering today. I'm thrilled to be participating in that webinar. Maybe some of you already have spoken with me. I work in sales here in Function Point, and I'm going to go through different ways to help you manage your sales pipeline. So let's jump in here. I'm going to share my screen. This is my main dashboard. Keep in mind that you may have different dashboards depending on how you customize that. So if you go here under the dashboard icon, you can see I have created a few dashboards for myself, and for you guys who are like account executives or sales managers, you can create these different ones. So I have created one here called AE option 2. This is pretty much the one you're looking at right now. So basically I have on the left side like a calendar view of all my meetings that I have scheduled for today. Actually, we can even see our AHA webinar right here. And then I have the timesheets, some P notes, and my tasks and to-dos. Another thing is for some of you that haven't seen how you can customize your dashboard, you can click here quickly, click customize dashboards, and here's where you can select different layouts and create your own dashboards. So it's pretty handy, especially if you want to see different information on the dashboard depending on your role. Excellent. So after that, what I'd like to cover is the CRM component of Function Point. So basically, the CRM, it's handled usually under the companies, the contacts, and the notes module. So basically, if I go here under companies, and let's say, you're working with a few different prospects, and I want to do a search to see what prospects my account executives are working on. So basically what we do here, we go under the company find, and then we can select all the different filters to search for information. So let's say I can go here and type the name of the company. Or maybe in that case, I can do a company type search. And you can customize that drop-down list that you see. So if you're looking for, let's say, prospects, you can just select here prospects. And you can even search by account executive. So if I'm the sales manager in the agency, and then I want to take a look at the opportunities that Leo is working on, I'll go here and select my name, or I can leave that field blank, and then that will bring me a list of all the opportunities for all the sales team, all the account executives. Another option is we can go and select qualification level. So basically, under the qualification level will be where my prospect is in the sales cycle. So in my demo system here, guys, we have this standard, sales funnel terminology, but you can change that. So probably during the training and the onboarding program that you went through with function point, you have seen, under the admin area in the back end of the system where you change this. So if you're not sure where you change it, usually you go to the admin area here in function point and go under list maintenance. So if I go here, admin area, and then there is an area for list maintenance is where you change these drop downs. So going back here under qualification level, let's say I want to take a look at all prospects that Leo is working on under the proposal stage. And then I could even, drill down my search and search by source. Let's say my sales team is attending, an event or a trade show. I can even enter here the name of the trade show. I can be very specific, and I can see all the prospects or all the opportunities that we generated from there. After that, you do a find or click submit here, and the system is going to give you a list. So in that case here for Leo, we have 4 prospects. Amazon, some good prospects you have, I guess, and Amazon and Samsung. And then if I want to see specific information about that prospect, I can click on the company name. Another thing I can do, I can print that list in PDF or export to CSV file. Okay. Any questions so far, Emma, from our attendees?
Hey, Leo. I was
Okay,
just unmuting
so we
myself
don't
and
have
if
any questions yet.
uh sorry, can you hear
Oh,
me now?
okay.
Sorry, slight delay. We're so
Yes,
close here
yeah,
in the
we can
office,
hear
but
you.
there's somehow a delay.
Yeah.
No questions to the material so far. So keep it
Okay,
coming, and
excellent. Yeah,
thanks so much.
yeah, no problem. So I'm gonna do another find here. I select my name, but now I wanna search for all the prospects, and I'm not gonna select the account executive. So I'm gonna do a find, and now you see you have 12 prospects because now includes my name and also other account executives. So if I wanna see specific information about a prospect, I can just simply click on the company name. It will take us to the company details page. So let's say I am the account executive for Amazon, and we know they are a prospect here under the company type and qualification level. And then let's assume that I had a conversation with Sophie today, and then I want to follow up with her in a week. So it's very important function point, you can create prospecting tasks. So your account executive will see that prospecting task in their dashboards. So basically under Sophie's name here, I'm gonna create a note. So click here on add a note, and I'm gonna call that, let's see, call Sophie next Monday. I can enter the details of my conversation with Sophie, and you can, right click here, use spell check. And then, as I was mentioning, you can create a follow-up date. So let's say I need to follow up with Sophie by Monday. So next Monday is the 27th. And actually, I'm going to create a follow-up task for myself. So instead of you using your calendars, you can have everything in function point, create your own prospecting task. I can even pin that note to someone's dashboard. Let's say I want my account executives here to see that as well. So I can scroll down here and say, okay, I want to share that with Omar and Sam. Click submit. And then now that prospecting task and the note is linked to my company here, Amazon. So if I go under notes, we can see here, call Sophie next Monday. And if we go back now to my dashboard, and let's use the same dashboard, the AE option 2, under tasks and to-dos here, we can see now that I have a task called, call Sophie next Monday. So it's a quick way for you to track all your prospecting tasks. Another thing is if you have like, let's say 100 tasks in your list of to-dos, you can sort that. So you can say, okay, Emma, in that case, I don't want to see all these tasks. I just want to see prospecting tasks. So I can filter that. And then now the system just give me a list of prospecting tasks that I have. So in that case, I have, one of my clients here, in that case, prospect Amazon, Samsung and Canon and different prospects right there. Excellent. So what we have done is just like I was showing you how to create like prospecting tasks in Function Point, how you search for um, prospects in the system using the qualification levels, and these qualifications levels you can customize that. Another thing I like to do is in Function Point here, for every meeting I have with clients, let's say I do like a live demonstration, I meet with them on their office, or we do like webinars, I track time against inside sales job. So let me show you here in Function Point. If I go under jobs, I have one here called Sales Time Login 2014. So what you could do in your agency is create like a job, a sales job, an internal sales job every year. So let's say in 2014, January 1st, I create that job, and then I put the delivery date, end of the year, and the job type is in-house. And what we do, every time we have meetings, we track time against that job. So after you close, let's say, a new deal, we can do a search for all the timesheets that we have submitted for that particular prospect. So it's a great way for you to see, the cost of acquisition of a new client. Excellent. So let's go back here to our dashboard. Another thing I like to cover quickly, I want to make sure we keep that to the 30-minute, 40-minute time frame, is under estimates. Let's say we want to take a look at all the estimates that are, in review or submitted. Again, these drop downs here, this terminology, you can customize that. So in your agency, if you have something different, you can just go here and then change, from in review to something else. Right now, I'm going to do an estimate find for all the estimates that are in review and have been submitted. I can even search by account executive. I can say, okay, I want to see all the estimates that Leo created, or I could even do by search by creation date or estimate date. Say, I want to see all the estimates that we have created from January 1st to today. This is pretty cool because you just type that, press tab, the system populates the dates for you. If I were to say here, yesterday, and press tab, you see January 22nd. So I'm gonna go here now and do a quick find. And then now I see we have a list of 12 estimates. And this is the name of my company, name of the estimate, sorry, the account executive. So you can see here different account executives, the types, probability to close. So it's very important when you create an estimate, you put a probability to close. So what's the probability for us, the likelihood of getting that deal? This is the date of my estimate, this month to close. So, okay, I'm expecting to close that deal in March, and this is the total of each estimate. Any questions, Emma? I think you have a question there from our attendees.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. We have a couple of really good questions that have come in,
Sure,
hoping you can help with. One that came in
sure.
from Jason, which is great, is when, and it goes back a little bit to your prospecting tasks, just wanting to
Yeah, sure,
confirm and show
sure.
how those prospecting tasks do show on the calendar view.
Sure. So every time, Jason, you create a prospecting task and you put a due date for that prospecting task. Let's say here, call notes with, the one we have created was call Sophie next Monday. It shows uh, due on January 27th. So if I go to my calendar here, right now I'm just looking at the daily view, but if I go here to the 27th, let me go that quickly, you're gonna see that task here in the 27th. Of course, you can open your calendar as well, but you see here under my calendar, call Sophie next Monday. And if you click on your calendar here, Jason, is another option. Instead of, changing the days, you can see a monthly view here. And then for next week, we can see here, call Sophie next Monday.
Great, thanks for that, Leo. I have
Yeah,
another couple, if that's okay.
sure.
One, which I hope makes sense, it came in from our friend Red, and he had asked, how does the sales time log break down to different clients. Now, I may have been paying too
Okay.
much attention to the questions and not
Yeah.
seeing sales time log on your screen. So hopefully that makes sense to
Yeah.
you.
For sure. So what do you do, Greg? Every time you put a timesheet um, again against that job, under the description of the timesheet, you put the name of the prospect that you're dealing with. So let's say I can do a timesheet find, you know, and under the description of my timesheets, I'm gonna put here American. Let's say I was dealing with American Express, Jason. So I want to see how much time I've spent with them. So I'm just gonna enter under the description of the timesheets for the search American Express, click submit, and then now the system is going to pull up a list of all the timesheets that I have entered American Express as a description. So American Express, you see follow-up call and email sent with a copy of our proposal. So all the different ones. And then I can print that in PDF, and the system tells me, okay, Leo, you have spent 7 hours, 7.25 hours with American Express so far.
That's great.
So,
That, oh, sorry, can
yeah,
I chime in?
yeah,
That probably
yeah,
also
sure.
answers Anthony's question, which was when tracking time for a new business, what's the best way to view time to a specific
Hmm.
prospect? And I think you probably answered that
Hmm.
in that
Yeah.
timesheet find.
Okay, let me elaborate a little bit. Let's say that I work today with Amazon, and then I want to track the time against that meeting that I had today. So what I do, I go here under my prospecting task. Oh, sorry, under my timesheets, put the duration of my meeting, let's say an hour. Under the jobs, I'm gonna put my sales job here. So just type sales. System's gonna pre-populate with sales time login, and then in your system. Guys, you can create different services. I can say, okay, I want to track how much time I spent prospecting or on-site client meetings or, follow-ups, network events or internal meetings, have internal meetings for sales. So let's say this one was a follow-up. So I'm just going to type like a description here, follow-up. And then you need to make sure you put the name of your prospect here because and then you can search for that later. So basically, this is the way you do it. You track your time against your internal sales job. Under the description of your timesheets, put the name of your prospect, and then later on you can go under the timesheets, do a find, and if I click here now and type Amazon and search, we're gonna see the timesheets I have put against all the prospect related activities to Amazon. Excellent.
Leo, can I chime in one more time?
Definitely.
Probably not the last time, but one more time for now.
For sure.
Lindsay had wanted to confirm, would you then recommend that once you've maybe that prospect becomes like a real client and this would be maybe billable time, would you move that time to be a part of the billable job?
Uh, Depends, Lindsay. Here in Function Point, we don't do that. All the time I spend to close, deals and bring new clients, we don't charge that back to the client in any way. So usually this is part of, your COGS account of doing business, and then after that you start tracking billable time. Um, as you can see here, that internal job that I had, the sales job, I have that job as non-billable. So if I show the details here, you're gonna see job billing status is a non-billable job.
Excellent. And sorry, me again. um, well, this is getting a lot. Sometimes we do webinars and no one has anything to say, and this is not a quiet group, so that's good. Um,
Yeah.
Byron had asked, and I know I've talked to Mark Wilson here about this.
Mhm.
He's asking, why wouldn't you just track time against the actual prospect? Now, is that based on like if you have thousands of prospects, that could get
Uh-huh.
ridiculous, or is what would be sort of the rule there?
Yeah, yes, because in order for you to track the time, you need to have like a job, and then in that case, you may have 100 prospects, and then you're gonna need to open like 100 jobs. So in order to simplify that, what I do, I have just a an inside sales job, and then just type under the description the name of my prospect. But of course, you could do that if you like. You can for each prospect you open a quick job, and then you can track time against that. Is another option. It's totally, a very good question. You can use that way if you prefer.
Awesome. Thanks, Leo.
Excellent. Any other questions?
There's one more, but I think it's something you're going to show. Um,
Okay.
Something that Suzanne brought up, but I think you're going to be showing sort of having an inside, in-house sort of sales job that you track time to as another way to go about this. Yes.
So this job, the inside sales job, is the one that I was referring
Okay, you've already been
right
showing
now.
that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is
Okay.
the inside sales job where you track time against that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. So let's go quickly here back to the estimate find that we did. And one thing in function point, the system memorized the last search that you did. So if I click here on the estimates tab, system is going to tell me, okay, Leo, this is the last report that you created. So this is the list view with my 12 estimates, with the name of my prospects, name of the proposal. And then this is an important one. You have probability to close, dates, month to close, and the totals. Two important reports in that screen here is your PDF one, the first one that gives you the estimate list view. So basically, can zoom in a little bit. It's exactly the same view we had in that screen here, but in PDF. Or you can also print another report. You can export to CSV or print another one called estimate list by client report. Actually, this is the second report that we had in the slides that I put together that Emma was showing to us. So here's the estimate list by client. It's very helpful because I can see, by company how many estimates I have, and then the name of the estimate, the status, who is the account executive. So I see here Leo is the account executive for that one. Daniel, it's responsible for that one here. And then any descriptions, how many estimate hours we had, dollar values in terms of internal services, internal expenses, external expenses, and the total for the estimate. Perfect. So keep in mind, just to recap here, every time you want to take a look at estimates, you can search by, status of the estimate. And where you define that, this is something important here. When you have an estimate, let me open an estimate I have here in the system. Let's say this Boeing 787 Facebook ad. So when you're creating your estimate, make sure that you use this approval status here on the left side. Is key because if you don't use that, you're gonna have all the estimates in review, but maybe you wanna search, by for estimates that have been submitted, approved, or even declined. Okay, so it's something to keep in mind when you're creating the estimate. If I click here, add details, we can see all the different details for that estimate. Who is the company, who is the contact, the account executive. And then one thing I'm going to be reviewing later is the probability to close. So what's the likelihood of us, closing that deal or, getting that estimate approved? So I put here 90%. And I said that I'm expecting to close that by February. So it's another thing that you should have your account executive to fill in that information when they're creating estimates. Because when you do that, Emma, and then you click submit here, it will be really easy for you to do a search for estimates. And I can do something even, very helpful. It helps me a lot when I do like an estimate find, and then under close probability, I can say, I don't want to see probability that's 10% or below 50 or 60%. I can say, I want to see all the probability to close between 60 to 99%. Press tab. If I click find here, and actually let's select my name, or I'll leave blank, I'll see all the account executives. Do a find. So now we see all the probability to close is above 60% and below 100. So you can see, you know, the probability to close based on that range. How are you doing, Emma? Any other questions about that?
Oh yeah, we've got questions. We've got a chatty bunch, and I am not complaining about this. First good question came in from Sean, and he was asking, and this may be sort of in a matter of opinion, but is there a threshold that you would recommend that sort of when a prospect becomes estimate worthy? Like when would you say, okay, yeah, they're just a prospect, and when would you say, you know what, I'm putting an estimate. I'm moving them to sort of the land of estimates.
Yeah, usually when I know that I'm gonna be sending him a proposal, they're kind of like they're interested enough that they're gonna say, okay, Leo needs to put like a proposal together. He asked me for pricing, for instance, is an example. Um, to relate to function point, let's say I do a lot of webinars and online live demos. Every time I finish a demo, not necessarily I'm gonna send a pricing document. In that case, I don't send an estimate. But if prospect asks, "Oh, can you send me a pricing document?" or I know that they're very interested in our services, so I do send a proposal for them. So it's totally up to you. It's kind of a gut feeling. What works for me may not work for you, so you need to test and see what's the best, practice, the best practice for you.
Great, thank you. I've got a couple more if that's okay.
Yeah,
Another
definitely.
one that's come in that I hope isn't going to stump you because that's not my intention. This one's from Shane, and he's
Yeah.
asking, how can we track our new business close rate, i.e., what's the percentage of prospects that have been converted to clients in a year? Is that
Okay.
something you could? Oh, cool.
This,
Okay.
this this is a good question. And then what I would do was Sean that asked that.
It was Shane.
Shane, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So what do? You do an estimate find, and then you can say, okay, I want to see all the estimates that Leo submitted last year that were declined. So I could search here by my name. I don't know if I have any fan in my demo system here, but if you do in your system, you say, okay, I want to see all the estimates has been declined, submitted by Leo, and the estimate date I can say January 1st, 2013 to December 31st, 2013. So if I want to use like a date range for that, and then you just click submit here. I'm just gonna copy and paste just in case if I don't get any. I don't have any data because I don't have any estimates. I think I did really well last year, Emma. I
Seems
didn't have
so.
any
Look at you
estimates.
go.
But basically, to answer the question, yes, you could search by decline, or you can search for all the different status. And then when you get a list, so let's say here I'm gonna search for Leo for all the status. So I'm gonna select everything here and click find. And then when I get that list, I can just export and sort by, estimates that has been declined or approved. But it's easier to just do the search and select decline instead. So, and then you can see the percentage, how many estimates he submitted and how many was declined. Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, well, I've got one more. I mean, there may
Yeah,
be more, so I've got one more that's currently sitting here that's come
sure.
from Robert. And I think this is something that you had specifically asked for as a feature. He was asking, is there any way to see a total when you're on that list view when you're tracking your opportunities? And I think it's there. I think you just have to click
Yes,
one button or something, don't you?
yeah. So what you do, so you don't have the total here on that page, but you just click here on the PDF. So the printer icon, and then it's gonna give you the totals here, right here. So
Excellent.
you have the
That's
monthly
great.
close, the dates, and everything. Yeah, I have a request that we didn't have that in the past, so we have add that. It's way easier for us to have the totals there. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, that's all I've got for now, but thanks for checking in. And yeah,
Yeah, not a problem. So we look at a few different reports, doing estimate find. Another option is to go to the reports module, click on reports, and you're going to see we have a CRM and sales reports. So I'm going to go here, and then we have two reports that I mentioned in the slides. One is called new business by month to close and percentage probability. So if I click here, the system gives you the ability to filter that information using a lot of different filters. So I can go here and say, okay, I want to see all my estimates that the probability to close is between, let's say, January and April, and then approval status I want to see in review and submitted. I may want to do a search based on the company type. Maybe it's existing business, so I can select my client, or I can say prospects as well. Under account executive, make sure you have your account executives marked in function point as AEs, so you see their names here. So I'm going to select my name, let's say Daniel and Mark. And then you can even search, excuse me, by qualification level. It's not mandatory. It's not a required field, but you can use if you like. I'm going to do a submit here. I'm going to click submit. And that report, Emma, it's a really nice report. It's created in Excel. So when you click on it, it's going to open Excel. So it's our new business by close month and percentage probability. So basically, it's going to tell me here, okay, we have 3 opportunities for January that we have as month to close January. And then here is the name of my companies, in that case, my prospects. And then you can see here the company type is a prospect, the type. Actually, the source here is important. Where did they find out about us? Maybe, we met them on a trade show. So you can have trade show website, client referrals, the industry, who is the account executive, the work type, this one's a media, brand and design, the number of my estimate. Here we have the estimate name. So, Canon, new logo, the estimate type, the date that we create that estimate, and then we have status. Let me move to the side a little bit. The number of hours we have estimated, and then we have services, expenses, external expenses that you put on the estimate, the totals, the close probability for each opportunity here. And then based on that close probability, what type of revenue you're expecting, the month to close, and then the dates, follow-up dates I have. And another thing is in function point, when you create like a note, we have a note category called current status. So if you select that note current status, every time you create that report, the last note that you created with the category called current status will show here. So what I ask our sales team to do here, Emma, it's every time you contact a client that you're negotiating with, make sure you select the note category current status, because when I print that report, I can see here, their notes. Okay, things are going well. We should get this one, and different details. And then below we have the summary by account executive. So I have 3 account executives here, Mark, Leo, and Daniel, and then the dollar amounts for everyone, for each one, and then how much I'm expecting in terms of business for the first 3 months. It's $99,000. Questions about that, Emma? Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple of good ones for you.
Yeah, sure.
One came from our good buddy, you know him, our favorite redhead, Red
Oh
in
yes.
Texas.
Hello,
Uh,
hello, Red.
Red was saying that when he's back there in that CRM section, he's only seeing that flagged contacts one, that icky flag contacts one. And I was just typing to him, but
Okay.
maybe you
Yeah.
can show just it's a permission setting, yeah?
Yes, it is a permission settings, Red. So what you do, you go here under the admin area, click on manage staff and staff roles. So, and then you select your name here. Let's say, let's go to my permission sets here, Leonardo. So go on the right side here, Red, and then click on permissions. So this is a great question actually, because a lot of people don't have access to these reports. So you need to make sure you go to the admin area, and then under the reports tab here, you select that report. So right here, reports and data export. So these are all the different reports we have. And our account executive or new business report is right here. Let me just see new business here by account executive and qualification level, and new business by month close probability. So if you go here, Red, and then select these two, activate these 2 reports, you'll be able to now go back to the report section and see under CRM these 2 reports that I was reviewing.
Now,
Perfect.
I've got another one, Leo, and I really
Yes.
don't want to stump you. I admit I don't know if we have an answer to this one. And what I've said to the what I've said to the
You have
general,
the answer.
I have an answer for everything. Ask Leo. That's my answer. The questions come from Robert, and he's asking a bit about the when you're tracking the opportunities. Um, he sees that we've got all the months of the year there, But what do you do
Yeah.
if it's not the same calendar year? Now, that may need to go into feature request land, is what I'm thinking. But
Yes, you're right.
okay,
So when you create the estimate, you don't have the option to select the month with a year. Having said that, when you create in the report, you can select the date range, January 1st to today. So in that way, it's 2014. If you want to look at 2013, you just put the dates here, 2013. So you, that report here, you can do that. The other one, Robert, yes, actually, we need to put that as a future feature request. Yeah,
now we've got a question
good one.
in from Fernando, and I am going to read it out because maybe as I read it out, it'll I understand, but I'm gonna shut up now.
Sure.
Um, Is it possible to see how much time was spent in each phase of the sales process in past opportunities? Fernando's saying that when they change the
Hmm.
qualification, they're losing the record of how much time was spent in the previous phase. So I thought that that sounds like
Uh,
timesheet stuff to me, but I wouldn't think that the
yeah. Yeah, so if you want to see, how much time you guys spend on lost opportunities, I would go here and do a timesheet find, and then you know what opportunities you have lost. So I would put here, the name of the opportunity that I lost, let's say Amazon, do a find, and then now I know how many hours I lost or I spent trying to close that deal that didn't happen.
okay.
I
I may
hope
take
I
that
I
with
have answered that question. Yep.
Well, I'm going to follow up with Fernando because I may not be
Yeah.
fully understanding his question there. So I'll follow up with
Yeah.
that one. But no
Okay.
other new questions as yet. So keep going.
Okay. Yeah, so basically, we reviewed the last two reports that I was planning to do. I know that we said, between 30 and 40 minutes, so we're reaching the 40-minute mark here. I want to make sure we keep these webinars, very short, but also, very useful for our clients. It was great. We got a lot of questions. If there is any questions, we can spend a few more minutes here, Emma, reviewing more questions. And that webinar is being recorded, so we're gonna send you guys an email with a link to the recorded link, so you can send to your AEs or your salespeople to take a look. And if there is any other additional questions, feel free to contact us or contact support. I will be more than happy to assist you.
That's great. Yeah, we haven't had any more questions yet. But wow, what an active group. That's really refreshing. I'm pleased as punch.
Yeah, no, it's what's great that we got a lot of questions. I know it's a very popular um, topic, CRM and how you manage opportunities. Again, it's very important to make sure you use the estimate approval status, qualification levels when you're creating a company in the system, is a prospect, is a client, where they are in the sales funnel. Actually, um, Karen, one of our consultants, she has created that cheat sheet here that we're going to be sending to all the attendees today. So you can share that little sheet here with your team. There is the main topics that we have talked about today.
Yeah, that's a great little cheat sheet that she's made, and so many
Yeah.
neat little things. Like I'm a big fan in those company fields, how you've got all those you've got source, you've got qualification, classification, all those places you can really specify more about this person, industry type, and then search. It's super cool.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Excellent.
Well, what we can do and what we've done historically in these kinds of situations, Leo, is that maybe you and I stop talking, we stop recording, and then I'll leave the webinar open for a good another 10, 15 minutes. People can keep typing their questions in, and I'll address those. But
Sure.
yeah, I think we've covered everything. The questions have slowed down, and we'll leave it open though. And people can just
Hmm.
type away. And like you said, the recording is happening. That'll be up and available later today or tomorrow. And then that cheat sheet and some other little links will be coming out via email once the session ends.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind, we are this is the first AHA webinar that we're doing, but Actually, we're going to be having these webinars every week. I think it's every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, right, Emma?
That's right, up until mid-March.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes. So if you go here under functionpoint.com slash aha sessions, you're gonna see the upcoming sessions here. The next one's gonna be three stops. Sorry, 3 steps to open a job. And actually, I think we're missing the open here, Emma. Three
What?
steps to an open
It's
job,
three
but
steps to an open job, three
true.
steps to open a job. They both make sense.
Yeah.
Come on
Oh, okay, excellent. And then we have all the and then we have all the other sessions. So it'll be, very important for you guys to share with your team. We're gonna be reviewing, how to create schedules. Tasks, reviewing tasks, the client portal. I think Mark is doing that one for the new invoice module that people are getting used to the upgrade that we have done. So there's a lot of great content, a lot of information in these new upcoming webinars.
Great stuff. Well, we've got a few questions coming in. Hopefully, I can answer them as we type here. Yeah, I've got a few that I can answer
Okay.
probably as I type here. But thanks so much, Leo, for doing that. And we'll stop chatting and just keep the questions coming. I'll leave it open for another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, excellent. Thanks again, everyone, for your time. Appreciate and have a great afternoon.